Maybe I'll try the stranger grandpa, where it's just
Not a dirty grandpa, a stranger grandpa.
The strange grandpa? Oh my god,
Strange
the
strange
strange
grandpa.
Shao, you just came up with the move, dude. How does it feel? I've always wanted to.
And we
The
have our
strange
intro. Okay.
The strange
Bam,
grandma.
bam, bam, bam. Okay, welcome back, everyone. I am so excited because today we wrap up Zero Day by going over episode 5 and 6. So before you listen, if it's your first time listening, we will have spoilers. We talk about the episode. So if you have not watched Zero Day or are interested, please go back and watch it, and you can follow us along. We started 2 episodes ago. We go episode 1 and 2, and then 3 and 4, and then today is 5 and 6. So, warning. Here we go. So, episode 5, the investigation into the cyber attacks escalates. George finds out there's a note left for him by Roger in his little black book, and that leads to the commission figuring out that one of the main players in the cyber attacks was Crazy Eyes Monica Kidder. And then she threatens George and Valerie and tells them that if they don't back off, then she's gonna tell everyone that Val's daughter is actually George's daughter as well, because they had a little thing when they were in office together. The commission then captures her after a gun battle outside her compound and arrests her. However, she is found dead in her cell. Now, episode 6. Alex confronts Dreyer and his buddies, who orchestrated, we find out, the cyber attacks to expose national vulnerabilities and push a new governance model. However, their plan unravels when Mitchell unexpectedly forms the commission and appoints George as its leader, of course. And Alex panics and considers coming clean, but is silenced by Dreyer. Dreyer responds by launching another blackout, at this time lasting much longer and putting the nation deeper into chaos, aka chaos. I don't know, that was so stupid. The commission scrambles to counter the malware and restore power. Meanwhile, Alex warns George that Dreyer has ordered for his assassination. To outmaneuver this trick, I guess, George fakes his death to remove him from the reach of Zero-Day conspirators. George later confronts Alex, who admits she's believed Zero-Day could be a tool for systemic reform and unaware of its deadly repercussions. And finally, there is a tense confrontation between George and Dreyer. And in the end, George does make a bold choice to expose the truth in front of a congressional session, despite the personal risk. He presents his findings, revealing the involvement of Monica Kidder, Dreyer, the high-ranking officials, and in the end, George and Alex has a little bit of an embrace and kind of like a goodbye moment, I guess, sort of, as they prepare for the face of the fallout of the revelations. And that is how it ends. There's a lot of, personal decision-making and all that stuff, but yeah, guys. Did anyone of you kind of think that Crazy Eyes was involved? Because when I saw her, I think she came on episode 4 or whatever it was. I kind of already had, like, she looked evil already, like from the get-go. And I kind of had a weird suspicion, but I don't know. Like, what did you guys think about this episode? For me, I had a brief, like 2-message exchange with Justin, because, as you all know, Justin and I watched this way before Hayden ever does. So
Not
we
too
just
much
had a
before.
brief. We had a brief little chat, and for me, I guess my main beef with episode, 1 through 4 was that
everyone prior.
everyone
My
pretty
main
much
beef with the entire series so far.
was that it was a little messy and it was a little slow. However, I think 5 and 6, they kind of jammed everything together, and we had questions that they ultimately did answer, and so it bumped I was sitting. This show for me was sitting at like a 6-ish, mid-6 range. It bumped up a grade for me after watching 5 and 6, so now it's around 7.75. I think still, I do believe maybe the execution wasn't pulled out very good. I don't mind the script. I don't mind the story. I love the acting. The cast is great, but it just kind of fell flat for me in the overall grand scheme of things. So yeah, that's my 2 cents about. So yeah, 7.2 for me. All right, go ahead, Hayden. Ultimately, I want to know your rating for this episode.
Oh, I suck with ratings, but
your thoughts. You don't have to do a number system. You can be a letter grade, whatever you want.
I really enjoyed these last 2 episodes. Judging by the group chat, I wasn't too sure on what your guys' feelings were, especially your 4-word reviews. I was like, oh, did Justin suddenly go down on his... There were things in the episodes that I was like, I know he's going to hate this. I know he's going to hate this. It did escalate the tension and the action, so to like in some scenes, which to jump forward, I think from what I spoke of last episode and Shao, your comments from the first 2 episodes, I think it would have been a fantastic political thriller of a movie. But extended out to a 6-part miniseries. It does give the option for some slow parts, some flat parts, some parts that weren't so necessary. But I feel like it could have done a really bang up job of being like a 2-hour 20-minute, political thriller. Agree with you. Acting was top notch. De Niro is good at playing the subtleties, but I wanted him to have a big moment, and he almost got it when he was having the one-on-one with Alex in the kitchen, where she was like literally like breaking down. But I did like how he played it throughout the series. It kind of had to jump. It felt like it jumped forward in time a lot, but in this grand scheme of things of 0 day, I think it was only like 3 days from when he went from being I'm okay with torturing people to suddenly going, let's do this last one by the book. It was very quick. It was like he jumped forward in that way, and then he pulled himself way back. But overall, it was a good surprise for me that there wasn't just one person that did 0 day. It was like it was a collective, and I didn't pick that he did it, but I picked that the senator speaker dude was involved somehow, and that goes to what you said last week, Justin, with who wants to gain what from this, and he obviously wanted to take power and basically reign above the presidency in a role of the commission. That's what I got from him. So he didn't want the head office, but he wanted to be able to have more power than everybody. And their whole little collective were involved in it as well. So that was a good, surprise me. I was like, oh, there was more than one person involved.
Right.
What a smart thing to do. It was oversight committee, right?
Yeah, because we're all here going, who's the one person that was... And then they kind of figured out the radio chatter and the revelation that the daughter was involved in it, and then I was like, oh, there's actually a whole, team of these freaking committee people that had been months in advance, plotting this thing for the better of the United States. It's like, if we could just show them what can happen, we can reset everything and make America again.
What's that?
You cut out.
Yeah, you cut out. Make what?
America fantastic again. Maffa.
Yeah.
Those Maffa hats.
Those Maffa hats.
Maffa.
But overall, if I was to give it a numbered score, just off the top of my head real quick, it would be a little bit higher than yours, Shao. It's 7.5. I wouldn't go as high as an 8 or up, only because, I think there were some parts that probably didn't need to be in there, and it would have been nicer to be a little bit tighter. So that's me.
All right. Justin, no flash from your end. Do you want to say anything?
Oh, fuck. I mean, I don't know. Buckle up. I mean, this fell flat for me coming off episodes 3 and 4. Before I get into it, Hayden, You said there's a couple of things that when you saw, you're like, oh, he's
Yes,
not
yes.
gonna like this. I'm curious if you remember any of those.
When Evan Green got released, I was like, "Bro, he's gonna hate that."
Dude, same, because
Yeah.
remember how we talked about at the end of the last episode we did, we're like,
Yeah.
how is that gonna unfold?
Yeah.
Last thing you see of him, he goes, I just want to go home. And that's the last thing you asked him.
Try
to
it
do.
out. Just quickly before you get into yours, Justin, it wrapped up that aspect of it, but I think that they obviously deliberately left it open for the viewer's mind to think of what ifs, and obviously there are things that are definitely they're not fully tied up, which is another thing that I was like, oh, okay, if you're gonna leave those open, does that mean there's gonna be a season 2, or do you just gonna leave them open? But anyway, like the Evan Green was one, and what is actually going to happen to everybody once he name drops everybody, all that kind of stuff.
So I'm okay with yes, I have a list of things that bugged me that they did not wrap up. And that is literally the first thing on my list. Him dropping the names, that leaving open didn't bother me. I thought that, you know what? The story wasn't about that. The story wasn't for me about what happened after. It was that full circle moment of him coming, and then when he gets to the end, he had lost his son, he had lost Roger, Alex got involved in this thing. We get the bombshell that he's got a love child with Valerie, which to me came way too late, and I'm going to get into that later. But you have all these lies and all these mistakes, and he's dealing with that. And then he has those really honest moments in these I think it's with Alex, or it could even be multiple characters. Even the President Mitchell. I love that she was always by his side. And she had that moment of being like in the office when they're talking about the truth isn't always. I'm going to have to look it up. It was a really good quote. Anyways, and you all go in thinking he's going to lie, and on the teleprompter he's going to, but then he drops the truth. For me, that was about the only saving grace in these last 2 episodes for me. So I don't mind that they left that open, because it was more about the moment of him speaking the truth. Mm-hmm. But I didn't like that they didn't wrap up Evan Green. I thought it was wrap it up. That one guy who told him he should vanish and he vanished, I was thinking, what did he even bring to the story? Because I thought this had everything to be like a really thrilling, gripping political series, but it was too bloated, like we talked about, and it could have been a tight 2-hour little film. And so I was thinking, like, there's so much that they could have just done without, but not wrapping up Evan Green, and then them finding the Nero device in the bird feeder. It's like, and you kind of get that little, because you almost forget about it, and then he finds it because it's at the end, and it's like, oh, right. And then it turns out it is not. It was just, oops, a piece of technology landed in there, probably at the factory or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, so were they using? And then it's like, no, they weren't actually using it on him. It was just stress. I didn't like that. I liked how episode 5 started. I mean, it started off pretty much with the pitch. The speaker, it's like, to the president, he gives the pitch about him running the commission. I was like, there it is. Hayden called it. He brought it up. And then it goes into the questioning by the speaker to Dr. Mullen. And man, I thought that was such a great scene. And the way she answered the questions, I thought it was incredibly well written, well performed. And then it just fucking died. It just died for me, the episode 5. I just remember thinking, like, almost being bored, because 3 and 4 to me were sort of like the building ones, and then 5 started this way. We knew who it was. And I think part of it was the love child thing came out, and I was like, I feel like this should have been out sooner. I kind of feel like it felt like they're just dropping it at a point to drop it. And then I felt like the big revelation of who it was, like that it was the whole oversight committee, but the reasoning behind it, I thought it was weak. I really did. I thought, like, now you can make the argument, did he just want it to try and for good, or did he want to seize like overall power, you know? But if it's for the reasonings they say, and for Alex for the reasoning she believes, I was like, man, like that is just some weak ass shit. I mean, I know it's sort of made to see that it's the billionaire at first.
Whatever happened to him? He was just kind of.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he was involved in it, but I mean the tech, that girl.
Oh, that billionaire. I thought you were talking about like Mr. Linden. I was like,
not Bob, no.
But maybe he
Anyway,
he was connected with the lady. Sorry, that's why he knew about. Drop your stocks now.
Yeah. So yeah, for me it was like, I don't know. It just started strong 5, and then I thought, like, as things were getting revealed, I just wasn't excited about it. And I guess to say, because at first I was like, when you guys are talking about it was picking up and this and that, I was like, what are they talking about? Like for me, it just felt like I was like bored. I was like, but maybe that's just because I wasn't as interested, or didn't think that the reveals were excitable. They weren't excitable to me. Like, you know, when you find something out and you're like, oh, like I was just kind of like, And by the way, that scene, did you notice she didn't blink either? She was taking some directing points from Roger, I think.
Which
the who? The
Alex?
Alex with Mullen.
But hers was a little bit.
Anyways, that's my
different.
That's my first rant about it. And so, promising start, messy finish for me.
So your final score?
I'd have to give it a 6.
Okay.
You know, and it's, as far as, like we've said it before, and I'll say it one last time, if they tightened a lot of this up and just fucking cut out the fat, this would have been a dynamite movie.
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like there's no, I don't know even how to put it. I feel like there's no rewatch value in this. I feel like there's would I recommend it? Not necessarily. I mean, would I even say like, oh, you should watch it for the acting? Not necessarily either. It's strong acting, but nothing was for me. Like, nothing really blew me away. There were a couple of scenes that stood out throughout the whole series. One of the scenes I think we mentioned before is just the scene where Alex is talking to her dad, and that, you know which one I'm talking about. I think they were in the kitchen or something like that, and then they kind of get into like a little bit of a spiel, and they kind of yell at each other or whatever. But I like that scene. Just, I'll say it again, I guess. It just fell flat for me.
Can I just say something real quick?
You may.
I may.
Yeah,
Thanks.
please.
So, yeah, there were some strong acting parts, and I do want to say that they gave, I don't even know what his name is, but the head of the tech department for the commission, he got his shining day in these last 2 episodes. They gave him some couple of good juicy scenes where he was like, all right, everybody.
The Carl, the guy who got shot, you mean?
No, the guy with the white dude with the glasses.
We're gonna break this down the old-fashioned way,
Yeah.
one problem at a time.
Exactly. I was like, he doesn't exist in the rest of the series, and then all of a sudden he gets these like big scenes where he's like, we're gonna do it one at a time. We'll start with getting the lights back on, and then
and then comms.
And then comms.
We need to get information out.
I was like, some solid acting there. He got his shining day.
Did you guys think he was gonna tell the truth at the end?
I think so. Yeah. I didn't think there would be a way to wrap this up, especially given, I don't know if I feel like reason why I thought that too was I don't think that Robert De Niro would want
Yeah.
another way. I'm not a cop out, but I don't think he would want. He wants the honest, especially the whole his quote unquote involvement and like I guess his passion for politics and stuff like that. I think
Yeah.
he is more about the the truth side of things. So
I
I thought
had exactly
in my
the
head
same
I thought
thought.
like maybe the it would be interesting if there was the other option, but yeah, I was like he won't do that.
I had the same thing because for a moment there I thought, is this really gonna happen? Like as he's deciding that he's gonna hold the lie and all this. And then I had that thought. I was like, no, there's no way De Niro would say yes to this show if this guy didn't tell the truth at the end. And I gotta be honest, I would have been absolutely pissed if they went the other way. I'd have been like, what the fuck, man? Like
TV flipped
I
off
think
the
he's
wall.
also he's also a producer on it, right? I think he's also executive or
Is it?
a producer title on it too.
And what about finding out Alex was in on it? Did you think, okay, because at first you didn't know the reasoning, right, as to her explanation as to why she's involved, and we just see it as a terrorist attack. Now she goes on to say, like thought we were doing it for good. They said it would just be a minute. I didn't think anything bad would happen, but we didn't have all that information first. So when you found out she was involved, how did you feel?
I don't know. I was a little bit surprised, but I also, I don't know. I think that's also when I was like, oh, okay, because the whole time, I guess I was a little bit too. My bar was kind of low already for this.
I was gonna say, and you shouldn't. That's how I felt too.
Right.
Kind of like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? A show,
Exactly.
they have that
You're right,
reveal,
you're right.
like
That
it's
kind of
the
bombshell
fucking
reveal.
Daughter, it should be like, oh, like when they chop Ned Stark's head off at the end of season 1 of Game of Thrones, you know, and you're just like,
What?
like they can do that to a main character, you know,
Yeah.
like that was like, I'm in, you know.
Yeah.
So like for me, like when there's that reveal, it was just like, oh, like like there's nothing like, so that's why I can't give it a higher rating. And I was hoping for more. I was just hoping for more. Hayden, what was your reaction?
Oh, sorry, Hayden, you go.
It was the same thing. I mean, it was on the spot. Suddenly, like, oh, okay, she's involved because what's his nuts Dryer was like, don't talk to me on the phone. Don't talk to me on the phone. If you want to speak to me, you know how to do it. You know how to do it. And I was like, she's got the fucking AM radio, doesn't she? And then she goes to the drawer and she pulls it out. And boom. And I was like, she's involved. But it brought up a whole bunch of other questions for me. It's like, so did Roger know the whole time that she was involved? Because they had their thing that you like always pointing out that they obviously spoke, and then on the evening of his death, he spilled a whole bunch of things to her. Did she then tell him? So, but it would never have mattered because he died. So it never would have got back to George Mullen. And then my brain spirals. It's like, well, who are those dudes that killed Roger? Were they part of the oversight committee, or were they part of Lyndon's, goon squad? Like there was this more of these unanswered questions.
Yeah, they did a good job of wrapping this show up, didn't they?
Lots of loose ends. But if you look at it from the point of view of just George Mullen, he had the full thing. He had the beginning, middle, and an end.
Yeah, that's true. I think that reveal, thinking back, I think instead of shocked or surprised, I just felt bad for George. Just like, your 2 quote unquote sons are dead. You now have 1 daughter, and she's, like a national sort of disappointment or whatever you wouldn't call it.
Now, is she going to jail or what? Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, no, but yeah, I guess a lot of after this, people are gonna know that people might think, man, he's not a very good father, and the fact that he had like a love child with a secret child with Valerie
But
too.
you know what? Despite all that, Shao,
Yeah.
he did the right thing.
Yep.
He spoke the truth. He locked his daughter up.
But his love child daughter, he didn't actually admit to that. It never came out because
You're right. He's terrible.
Because
Yeah,
what's
he's-
his nuts
yeah.
killed
Unforgivable.
herself before she could use a blackmail on him to get it out there. So it's like my illegitimate love child. That's the only one I care about.
That
I
bothered me
want to
too,
meet
by the
her. I want to meet her.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Her getting hung. I was like, ugh. Okay.
And who did
Predictable.
that? Who looped the camera so
And
that would
like,
happen?
why? Like, get her to talk. Why is he not? Why did he not? Well, she wanted immunity, but it's like, okay, here's this high risk person of these people that are capable of all these terrible things. We're not going to talk to her right away. Let's, put her in a jail cell and hope she's there in the morning. Anyways, that's my overall rating 6. I thought it started strong. I didn't like the big reveals. It just didn't have that excitement factor for me. No excite.
No excite.
No excite.
Chummy Thumbs overall rating of 6.8. 6.
Whoa. Yeah.
Hey-oh. All right. Now, before we go into the gaming section, game.
Section.
Justin, how did you do this before when you guys had your own
Oh,
podcast?
How have you
Disappointing.
still not been able to
Shao,
deal with my
I
shenanigans? You just
Smoked
can't.
So much weed.
I don't think you did. I don't think you were smoking at that time.
I one episode I did.
Drank so
like
many
the second
beers.
episode.
You drank a lot of beer.
And actually, I'd had some what is that, Kraken? Anyway, Shao, I
You had
did
some of
it,
that crack?
a lot of downers, and it was in, my heroin addiction days.
That's why we had so many views. Everyone's like, what is
Yes,
that Justin guy doing this week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa. What do you
Yeah,
have
so
there?
I was going to throw it to Hayden first before we
Okay.
go into the gaming section.
Section.
Stop, please. Good God. To
Just keeping you on your
let
toes.
everyone know what you're drinking. What's the message of the day?
The message of the day. So we got the golden throat coat. No,
Okay,
sorry.
let's determine its meaning, Shao. We'll decipher it.
The throat coat is back, ladies and gentlemen. And today we have: what a desolate place would be a world without a flower.
Another flower one.
Know it.
I mean, that one's just kind of self-explanatory, but maybe
Yeah.
there's deeper
But what-
meaning. Like maybe the flower represents something
You know,
else.
that has
You
a
need
big
love.
chain reaction of several things. No flowers, no pollen, no bees,
No life.
no bees, no a lot of things. No life. Yeah. No honey.
You
You're
know-
removing a lot of things in the ecosystem and the food chain.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would be dismal and a shitty world we live in if there were no flowers or desolate what?
I was going to
Yeah,
say,
this
would
is
you
very
say
specific.
would it be a desolate place?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can you read it one more time for me, Hayden?
please.
What a desolate place would be a world without a flower.
But could you read it more
Eight?
like a
A
poet?
single?
Like
More like
could you
a
put a little bit
poet.
of feeling, like put some feeling behind. I want to feel this poem. Okay.
Where do you want the feeling in this specific poem or quote?
Okay. You just met a girl. You just met Alex. Okay. In a foreign country. You get a great meeting. You're walking her home because where she's staying is on the way to where you're staying. So you're going to walk her home, make sure she gets home safe. And she's a major in arts, and you want to impress her with something poetic and thought-provoking. And there's this moment where you come to under this light, and there's some little cafe off in the distance, and the moon is setting over the water, and you just stop her as it's about to set. The sun, we'll say the sun, not the moon. and then
That's a long
you
day.
drop it, and then you drop it,
And
And then
okay,
you've got
okay. Oh my
this
God,
line.
Hayden, I'm so chilly. I'm so cold. Can I borrow your jacket?
Lock into that moment, Hayden. Put yourself there. You're with her. You just had this extraordinary evening. Feel it. And then say the words from that place.
Say the feelings from that place. You've given me something totally not what I would have done, but okay. Oh dear. See, I'm not a romantic like this, but
Oh, you are. You're.
well,
whatever
you
that
see,
feel-
I've got a reason to use. I would use this exact line with her because her name has a flower in it. So
Pick that moment. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
that's the one. You know, what a desolate place would be a world without a flower.
Hmm.
So it's a little bit on the
Well-
cheesy side, you know. What a desolate place would be a world without a flower.
It's charming.
Okay. I got a little
charming.
wet there. I got a little wet.
Little bit.
Well,
See,
you're the
it would
standard,
would
okay?
come
I'm
it
gonna
would
need to
come
use
with
that
an
back. Yeah.
it would come with an action of like, you know, the hairbrush behind like the ear sort of thing, you know, because I know that her
Ooh,
name
I
has.
like that.
Ooh,
I
I
know
like
that.
that.
And if she was so cold, it would be like, yeah, it would be
Yes,
like, here's my jacket, wrap around, tuck the hair behind the ear. What a desolate place a world would be without a flower.
Fuck, that was it, bud.
Mm,
That was
there
it.
it is. You
Put
got it out.
himself there, saw it, went through the motions. Look, you're hired.
I'm like,
Justin.
yes,
Thank you
We
for
got it.
doing
We
that.
got our shot. We
Now-
got
Got
our
a
shot.
shot. Yeah.
Sweet.
Unfortunately, all our cameras ran out of tape because it took so fucking long, but we got it eventually. We know
You
can
got
do
the
it.
you got the audio, so that's all you need.
That's it.
Yes.
Oh, that guy looks
Okay.
horrible on screen. He can just do the voiceover.
Can we come up with it? Hey, if anybody listening knows how to do animated, could you put an animated clip together with that soundbite right there, please?
If that even makes it to the
Please.
episode.
Please.
Oh,
Unless the general
okay.
unless the general consensus is that you do want it in.
hell yeah, that was dynamite. Are you kidding me?
Okay, I guess I
mean,
get
that,
to make
that was a 7 or 8 minute segment. We can cut it down to maybe 45 seconds, but
exactly the length of the line. I gotta give props to who wrote that first as well.
oh yes, of course.
Clara Lucas Balfour.
Love her.
Flowers.
Love her. Yeah.
Balfour.
right, so-
Actually,
lady-
did you know, hey, Shao, that is Eddie's.
Eddie's.
Was it no sister-in-law or cousin? I can't remember.
It was like something removed. Like something removed. Like
Something once removed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brain cells.
Ed, love Eddie.
Okay.
All right.
We are going to do 2 games today, like last time. We're gonna go on. It's still gonna be a Bobby theme. By the way, Justin, Bobby is Robert De Niro. So we're gonna start
You're
off
an asshole.
again like last time, Hayden. 2 truths and a lie. We have 3 of these, and a new game that we're trying out where these 2 gentlemen have to guess which Robert De Niro movie is based on bad reviews. These are all these movies are ones that you guys would know. Many of them are certified fresh, averaging around 90% or whatever. So these are big movies, and these are all the rotten reviews. So let's start with
Oh.
2 truths and a lie.
That's
Do you guys want to do?
Brain
you guys
trust.
want to brain? Okay.
Yeah.
You guys want to do a?
Hayden.
You guys okay? Let's do a tag team thing here. Okay, can you stump the house? Here we go. 2 truths and a
Hey,
lie.
Shao, remember when we got 100% last week? That
I
was
do remember that. That was really fun. Yeah. Let's see if
Not in the 2 truths and a lie, you didn't.
That's moving on. Okay, so
Moving
2 truths and a lie. Playing at home, I'm gonna give you 3 statements about Robert De Niro, and one of them is a lie. So try to guess which one at home before these 2 clowns do. Okay. So, statement number 1. He was asked to play Jesus Christ in The Last Temptation of Christ, but he declined. Number 2. His first credited film appearance was a French film called 3 Rooms in Manhattan. And number 3.
I'm only 2
Before-
into this, and you're already an asshole, Shao.
Yes, it's gonna move from me to Shao. Oh no,
Yeah,
I
number
was
3.
I was the
Acting
taint. I was the
A
taint.
short
Sorry.
film he did when he was 6 years old.
Sorry.
Number-
Number 3, Shao. Number 3. What is it?
Number 3. Before they became famous, him and Dustin Hoffman were roommates.
D-Hoffs? No way. I can't see that. Before he became famous, did you say?
Before they became famous.
They're about the same age, aren't they?
I mean, this would really help if we knew what film school D-Hoffs went to. That's
Well,
Dustin
he's-
Hoffman Shao. But I mean, De Niro.
Oh,
De
right.
Niro, like, what's famous? I mean, De Niro basically became famous. Actually, I don't know what his first film was. Okay, anyways, Hayden, any that you can say for certainty, you know? Yeah, they're all
No.
just so dumb.
What was the first
God
one
damn
again?
it, Shao.
He was asked to play Jesus Christ in The Last Temptation of Christ.
See, because who was it? That was Willem Dafoe that played.
No, it was. Oh wait, Passion of the Christ.
No,
No, Last Temptation of Christ.
Scorsese's one.
Oh,
I have a feeling that maybe is true because if that was a Martin Scorsese film, he might have asked De Niro before he went to Willem for that role.
I think isn't that the one where Willem had to
get circumcised. What?
the one where they said that his dick is too big.
What? Really?
Did you guys hear about that? Anyways, let's circle back to that later.
Shao,
Of
just
all the
always trying to
things.
find a reason to bring up Willem Dafoe's back.
I'm gonna educated guess this one, Justin. Like I'm gonna say, yeah, he probably lived with Dustin Hoffman in New York at some point.
I know when you hear about what actors live together,
Yeah, when they were young.
right? Yeah.
I only know another one is George Clooney and Richard Kind.
So I feel like that one might be, it might be a truth.
Mhm.
And an obscure French film, but it's called what? Three
Rooms in Manhattan.
If it's set in Manhattan and it was an early, like, straight out of Stella Adler acting school, maybe, yeah.
So
Maybe
you
that
think
is true.
the movie one's false?
I'm thinking maybe, but I don't really know. I don't think-
you know what? I'll go with you because I don't have, like, mine are just educated guesses as well.
Because, I mean, he's
So-
Italian. He doesn't look at all
And if
Jewish or Middle Eastern.
Scorsese knows them enough and he's worked with him a lot, maybe he doesn't ask him to do that one. I don't know. Let's go with that one.
So the false is the
First one.
The false is he was not roommates with.
Ah.
He was roommates with Harvey Keitel.
Ah,
So before they
So-
did Mean Streets together.
there you go.
There you go. Yeah, pretty hard. Number 2.
Stumped.
Okay. Statement number 1. He is banned from a New York restaurant, Rouse, for arguing with the owner. Statement 2. He considered being a stand-up comic before going into acting. And statement 3. He often goes to movies by himself to study how the audience would react to his performances.
So he goes to his
Wow.
own films by himself.
Yes.
I mean, that's sacrilege. I feel like my gut says all of them are false, but I know that that's not true.
Unless Shao just changed the rules.
We're playing all false.
Yeah. I think B, I'm leaning towards. Can you read B again, the second one?
B would be he considered being a stand-up comic before going into acting.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but there are a lot of, I think, people who have gone to film school or acting, and I'm not saying a lot as in most of them, but I'd imagine you'd get some people who thought like, oh, that, like, I would like to do that. Like, I'm just even thinking from our grade, like, we had at least 3 people that actually went and did it, 2 that are still doing it. But to me, I see that one as a lie. I don't see De Niro being, because did he really do any comedies even in his early years?
I don't think so. I think
Like, was Dirty Grandpa his first? And even Meet the Parents, like he's not like the funny guy. You know what I mean? In comedies, you know how comedies they'll have like
Yeah.
the kind of crazy person, and then they need that like dead serious sort of person that has the reactions. So my gut is telling me that 2 is the lie.
Hayden, you want to lock in on that too, Hayden?
yeah, looking on that. I mean, Justin let me run with the first one. I'll give him this one. I would feel the same. Kind of makes the most logical sense.
Okay, the false statement is he actually hates watching himself on screen. He does, and he actually has been seen going to the premieres but leaving as soon as the pictures and stuff are over because he, like me as well. Justin, do you like watching yourself
Nope.
after?
The only time, I mean, besides when you have to be and sitting at one of your
Yeah.
is if I'm by myself. The only
Yes,
reason I do it is from a critical point of being like, you know, like if you study acting or study actors or moments and stuff like that, but not from it, like it's not enjoyable for me. I hate it. It's the last thing on earth I want to do. And I know Johnny Depp's like that, but I didn't know De Niro was like that. But I'm happy to hear that's false because like going and watching yourself to see how, like, I don't know, that just feels like self-absorbed.
Yeah, I can never do that.
No.
This one is worth 5 points. So you guys have a chance to win.
Nice.
Let's do it.
Okay. A. His nickname as a kid was Bobby Milk. B. He was in a Burger King commercial. And C. He called the director of Rocky and Bullwinkle and requested to audition because he wanted to do a kids movie.
Shao, your questions are fucked, dude.
I know the first one is
You know-
true. Bobby Milk is true.
These are tough.
So it's
well,
B or
3's
C.
been the false one every time so far. I mean, okay. 2 kind of sounds a bit absurd too.
Burger King commercial.
Chris Shao, can you read it one more time?
He was in a Burger King commercial.
Oh yeah, that doesn't sound crazy. A lot of big named actors when they're starting out, they take commercial gigs, so that doesn't seem, but I can't see De Niro, like, if he is going to call somebody to do an animated movie, is it going to be Rocky and Bullwinkle? I don't know. That one just seems false to me. That's why I'm leaning Hayden. If you want to go a different direction on this one for the 5 points, I'm happy for you to do that, but that's where I'm leaning. I was going to add one more point. Oh, and the third one's been false every time so far. So I'm just rolling with that feeling and also statistics. But mostly that feeling. I can't see him calling for Rocky and Bullwinkle.
No, I don't feel like De Niro would ever chase a role. I think he gets offered a lot of things.
He could say to his agent, I'm interested, and then they would present him the next 10 that are coming out.
Yeah, here's your choice. Take a pick. And I feel maybe it's B. Because, again, he hasn't not... Like, I mean, how many films before he sort of broke in on Mean Street did he do? And then I think from that movie, Mean Streets, in the 70s, he's been boom, 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 boom. Like, he has been a star.
Yes. I mean, he did do that obscure French independent film.
Yeah. Does he have grandkids? I don't even know. Or does he have...
He's got a lot of kids, so he might have some.
Yeah, so maybe he wanted to do something for grandkids.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he's never needed to do a commercial. He's like, I'm a film actor. I'm studied up in one of the most prestigious schools in the country. Why do Burger King? Unless, and I get it, you know, like a lot of young actors will do that. But I think he came from a time before where big money in commercials wasn't a thing. So he already had his star status set. So I'm going to say it's B. But you can shoot me
Hayden, I
later
think
if it's C.
you're right. Yeah, I think you're right, Hayden. I like that's very true. But I'm sticking with C.
So what's it
Just
going to be?
to make it exciting.
So
you
this
guys
is
can, you guys can go with your own whatever. It doesn't have to be a
Yeah,
joint.
I'll go C. You go B, but I think you could be right, Hayden. But
All
I
right.
either way we win.
am. It's gonna be A.
Sure. Sure. The false one is.
Oh my god.
It is the Rocky and Bullwinkle one. He actually hated the movie, but he owed the director a favor.
Ah, let's go.
So he called them to say, "Put me
No,
in
he
his movie."
didn't.
He did it because he owed the director a favor, but he actually apparently he hated the movie.
Oh, so the falsity was that he actually called them to take
So
the part.
he did a Burger King commercial a long time ago.
Dang.
You made a good argument though, Hayden. That was a very good.
If we were
I just-
debating, I'd be like, "Ooh."
Yeah.
A Hayden move would be actually it wasn't Burger King, it was McDonald's. Sorry, that's a lie.
Yeah.
Hungry
that was a-
Jacks. Hungry Jacks.
That was
Cool in
that
Australia.
was a very taintery move.
Yeah.
Congratulations, guys. You guys, I guess. Justin
Yes, I got
got
5 points. Yes.
Yeah, I did too because we were
Alright.
doing it together, right?
Yes,
Yeah, that's right.
sure.
No, Justin just
sure.
loves to beat me.
Now let's move on to the new game. Let's try the rotten reviews.
So you're gonna give a bad review, and we got to guess what movie it is of.
Yeah,
Of
and some of them will have.
I like this.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see
Did
how
you
it
say
works
a
out.
bad review of a good film though?
Yeah, these are all like, yeah. So
So there's that one person that's like,
Let's
"Oh,
see.
this film fucking
yeah, like
sucks."
there's literally some of them where there was like 4 rotten ones, and then that's
So
it.
they're like Justin with Wallace and Gromit.
Correct.
Yes. Yeah.
We can start. Let's start easy. Okay, so this is a review. After coming out gangbusters in the first and finest hour, the 180-minute movie loses all its chips in the remaining 2.
I'm gonna say because they used
I
the
mean-
word chips.
Casino. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is correct. Congratulations. This person did not like Casino.
Clever
they were-
though.
they liked
had
it
to get
enough.
their little pun in. Hey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get my
Throw a
pun
little-
in this negative review.
Throw a little, lose all its chips. Okay, number 2. This movie is a slow, aimless, and annoyingly restless movie which purports to be about gangsterism, but is in fact about the boredom of waiting. So much so that it eventually evolves into the very thing it's about.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Slow, aimless, and annoyingly restless movie about gangsterism, but is in fact about the boredom of waiting. So much so that it eventually evolves into the very thing it's about.
So what's interesting about this is instantly I'm thinking obviously a gangster one, the gangster, the Irishman, Goodfellas, Godfather Part 2, and I was kind of thinking Godfather Part 2 at first because I'm thinking waiting, but it says that line at the end slowly evolves into the thing
So much so that it eventually evolves into the very thing it's about.
evolves it to the very thing it's about.
Mm.
What's it? What's
What's it
so
about?
that makes me think. Yeah, falls into the thing it's about. That's what's throwing me off. He was in Untouchables, right? The very thing it's about, like it's untouchable, maybe. Like it sounds like has a negative film title. Am I just reading into that wrong, Hayden?
So my memory serves me right. Untouchables is not. Well, I mean, this is a negative review, but I don't think it's
Yeah.
slow or aimless. It is a freaking hard one. I've not seen The
But
Irishman
into the
either, but
very
that's
thing
really
it's
long.
about. Evolves
Yeah.
into the very thing it's
If
about.
you guys want a hint, I can read one good review.
Or is there another negative review?
They're hard to find, and a lot of them
Okay.
are hard to. A lot of them will give it away right away.
Yeah.
Okay, here is by Pauline Kael, a top critic. It's an epic vision of the corruption of America.
It's got to be Godfather, Part 2.
Lock in, Hayden.
Yeah, I'll go with Justin's. It was definitive. He won me over.
Correct. That is Godfather 2. 2 for 2, boys. Very good.
Nice.
Nice work.
Okay, number 3. There is a short, needling comedy of violence and cowardice somewhere inside this stylish film, and it is worth watching more than once to prize it free. The director himself chickened out, I think. Perhaps the mob got to him after all.
Oh.
I mean, Goodfellas, right?
Do you really think that
It is your
Scorsese chickened out on anything in that film?
It's a negative review.
I know, but for them to say that would mean that they would have to have seen something like that.
Okay, well, what's a gangster one of? He's in. Scorsese did Irishman as well. Untouchables.
He's also in American Hustle. Bradley Cooper, Jennifer Aniston, Jennifer Lawrence.
Lawrence.
It's only a small bit.
I guess they said stylish. Goodfellas isn't very stylish. It's just story driven.
That's why I was thinking American Hustle, because it's a period piece film, and he was the it director for a couple of years.
Yeah,
there.
American Hustle. Fuck
Bradley
yeah, I
Cooper
remember
plays
that.
a big overweight dude.
Let's go for it. Let's lock in.
Unfortunately,
Wait, Hayden didn't say he locked in.
Let's keep guessing. Nah, yeah. Do we want to?
what's your
wanna
second?
get
Okay,
Goodfellas?
what's your second choice? It's not that one. Give me your second choice. I'll give you 10 seconds. Are
Goodfellas would
Lock
be
in.
my second choice.
you sure? All right. Well, I gave you a second choice. It is Goodfella.
All right.
Good work. Don't listen to me. I talk us out of the
job.
right answer.
Good job. All right, let's jump straight into number 4. Little more than an excuse to get the band back together. In the end,
The Irishman. The Irishman locking in.
Okay, can I hear the rest of it before I agree with
In
it?
the end, the
Yeah, we'll
pacing is
see it
too
after he says
ponderous.
we're right.
In the end, the pacing is too ponderous and self-indulgent. The characters are too stagnant, and the story lacks an emotional punch.
To the Irishman.
Yeah, lock it in.
And you guys are 4 for 4.
All right.
I was like,
All
don't
right,
pre-ding. I know you like pre-dinging, but
No, if we know we're on a time crunch here.
All right, here we go. Blank is the worst kind of bad film. It's a technically proficient and gorgeously presented falsehood, one that rejects responsibility as it strives to understand and empathize with the stereotypical white mass murderer.
oh, what film's about a white mass murderer?
Huh.
Is this that one with freaking Al Pacino?
I know what it is. This is Righteous Kill. Let's lock it in.
Yeah.
It's got to be, right?
Righteous kill. Righteous.
You guys both want to lock it in? Lock?
Sure.
Let's
we-
lock it in.
No,
Yeah.
because Righteous Kill had an 18% Rotten Tomatoes, so it's not one of his highly rated films. So almost every review would have been a
Right.
shit one of that.
Yeah, that's true.
We-
That's true. That's
We
true.
were just playing it for gags.
I'm going to say it one more time. Blank is the worst kind of bad film. It's a technically proficient and gorgeously presented falsehood, one that rejects responsibility as it strives to understand and empathize with the stereotypical white mass murderer.
Okay, they're giving it credit. Technically and visually or whatever it is, proficient. It's hidden. So what are some... Maybe this is the American Hustle you were thinking?
Well, how many films has he ever played the bad guy where he kills a lot of people?
Yeah.
Or is he ever like a detective or whatever trying? Well, maybe this is the Untouchables.
Need I remind you that these movies, he's in them, not all of them. He's the title card star.
I want to say The Irishman. Wait.
You think he would do 2 Irishman ones? Do you think he would be
He
an
didn't
asshole?
do another Irishman.
Yeah, we got
Did he
the
do-
band all together, back together.
Oh, yeah, right. I forgot. I dinged so fast. I forgot I dinged.
There's a pre
Yeah, he would. Okay.
I will
technically-
say right now, for a fact, there are no repeats. I'm no Hayden
Yeah.
here.
He's no hey.
Assholery move.
Okay, let's go with...
Hey,
your
I was
Untouchables.
taintery by the end of it.
Yeah, that's true. He moved up.
I can give
Let's
you
go
a
with Untouchables. Oh, wait, can we use our good review?
no. I'm
our
gonna
good
give you.
review?
I'm gonna give you the same hint that Hayden gave us last time.
Oh no, I know where this is going.
What was it?
Go ahead.
No, this
Go
one
ahead.
is, the hint is, Justin, you should know this one. You know you remember that hint? It was something along the lines of that.
Well, was that your actual hint? Was Justin should know it?
That's my actual hint.
So Justin should know this one, which is what? What are your go-to?
Oh wait, we have Casino hasn't been one yet. Oh, it was the first one. Chips.
That's the first one.
Yeah, no, I don't know why I should know it because I still know quite a few Bobby De Niro movies that are good. The White Mask Killer. Yeah, that's tough. I don't think I can get it. Heat. I'm just gonna go with Heat. Oh, the what? I should know this one. Of course, it's the same as the last hint you gave me, which was the Joker. The Joker. He's in the Joker.
Woo, 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 woo.
Nice work.
Oh,
Nice one. There it is.
I still haven't seen it yet, so I'm like,
yeah.
Okay, so the next one we are at, it says, it might have been fascinating or at least instructive to probe the mind of a rough and ready character like this, but the film has no moral or psychological center for the characters and incidents to latch onto. It might have been fascinating or at least instructive to probe the mind of a rough and ready character like this, but the film has no moral or psychological center for the characters and incidents to latch onto.
and you said that these aren't necessarily all films that he's starring in, but he's in them.
He plays a big part in all of these films.
Okay.
Minor hint: he
Can you
is a title card on this one. He's main guy. Sorry, read it one more time.
Yeah. One more time. Because
It might have been-
my head's going Heat. Hayden listened to it. Listen to it from.
Here we go. It might have been fascinating or at least instructive to probe the mind of a rough and ready character like this, but the film has no moral or psychological center for the characters and incidents to latch onto.
I can see Heat or Taxi Driver, but the fact that they went psychological, that makes me think Taxi Driver more than Heat.
I'm gonna throw out some random clues that probably won't help. 92%. So it's one of his top ones.
Let's go Taxi Driver. I'm going Taxi Driver. That's where my gut is.
I think so, because you might have slipped up a little bit saying that the reviews come from any year. So I think someone of the current generation reviewing a film from the 70s might have completely missed the point. So I'm going to go with Taxi Driver 2.
All right. Unfortunately, that's your first wrong one, but I will give you another chance by reading the top critic one
Okay.
of a good review. The brutality of this movie is intense, a mood the director maintains consistently, and connected with that is the director's search for it. If not beauty, then poetry within that vivid viciousness. He succeeds in that search.
And probably is Heat.
And the director is not Michael Mann.
Oh, then it's not Heat. Maybe it's
It
the
didn't sound
Untouchables.
that- God, I don't know. This one's a stumper for me. Righteous Kill.
So, guys, this one was Raging Bull.
Ah.
Shit.
This one's a little harder because it's towards the end. But yeah, 92%, 93 for popcorn meter.
Raging Bull wasn't even on my mind, Hayden.
No,
What?
because I was thinking like violence for the sake of violence brutality, not like a sports
Yeah.
brutality.
Exactly.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Negative review. Here we go. Even when the actors were all better, and part of the picture's trouble is that there is no way for them to be much better, this movie would still be no more than that 1976 dark mirror image of 1936 romance.
That is a bad review. Like it just
Can we
reads
review
bad.
the bad review? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Even
Does
if
that mean it's from 1970s?
Set in the
Yeah.
30s?
Well, no, they said
Is that the Untouchables? Because that film came out in the 80s, I think. But it was about Capone. in
even
the
if the
30s.
actors were all better, but the picture doesn't allow it to be better. Is that
But
what
all
it is?
better.
Yeah.
And part of the picture's trouble is that there's no way for them to be much better.
So even if they had better
Things-
actors, it wouldn't have mattered
things
because
with
the
actors are
fucking
shit.
movie was shit anyways.
Yes, this movie would still be no more than the 1976 dark mirror image of 1936 romance.
I don't even know what that means. That's either really clever or really dumb.
Yeah.
So let's go with Untouchables. Let's just do it. Let's get it off this question. I hate this question. I hate this review.
Yeah.
Who wrote it?
I was gonna say, can we name drop who wrote it
I can probably find it, but
so we can shame them?
this movie was Taxi Driver.
You know what made me think
1976.
of that 70s, and then also when they said Black Mirror, obviously there's that very iconic moment of him in the mirror, but they related it to something so odd. I thought that couldn't have been a clue.
1930s romance,
Yeah.
like what's the romance in Taxi Driver? A young Jodie Foster prostitute character? That's not romantic.
I'm just trying to find this guy's name so I can put it on blast. Here we go. Top critic from the New Republic, Stanley Kaufman, wrote that.
I hate that person.
Fuck you, Stanley Kaufman. Okay. Both stars.
And your mother. That just came out. Sorry. Go ahead.
So loud.
Both stars have their share of dynamic moments, and gosh knows there's plenty of explosive action, but it's a long sit, and by the time the excruciatingly drawn out climax come to its end, you're more than ready to head for the exits.
When has a long climax ever been a bad thing? the pre-dinger himself is like, this one sounds like Heat, because Heat hasn't been one yet. Because you said both stars, so that's Pacino and De Niro, Val Kilmer as well. But
yeah, but I guess Kilmer was a bigger star back then. But it's Pacino, De Niro. That's what I was thinking of, paired ones. Let's go with it. Let's go with Heat. I'm down.
Locked in?
Oh wait. Ooh, that looked like he's about to do a positive thing. Let's go with Heat. Lock it in.
It is Heat.
Yeah.
You can't unlock it and lock it in.
well, until both of us say lock it in,
Yeah, okay. All right, let's do.
we're in the hot seat.
Let's do last one.
Yeah, last one. Although the story focuses on a character who possesses an almost superhuman self-discipline, the director himself lacks that strength of character. This movie is much too long, too obese, and too strewn with repetition. We need films that remind us of our history, not films that distort it.
Oh, 0 Day.
Distorted history.
What? Yeah, that's got me too. Distorted
Maybe that's
history.
the Untouchables, because that's the only thing that he's done that's been based on truth, has it not?
Lock it in.
We got
Lock it in.
Okay, a quick one.
Well, Hayden, have you locked in?
Yes, I've locked in.
Are you sure you've locked in?
I'm judging you. Can we have a clue? Do we have any lifelines left?
You have one more lifeline left. Minor clues. Well, one, it's not what you think it is.
Yeah, there we go.
86%. Came out in 1978. It is 3 hour and 3 minute.
Oh, Deer Hunter. It's Deer Hunter. Lock it in. Lock it in.
Tried to give you more hints, but it is Deer Hunter. Well,
nice.
Oh,
Let's go.
You guys did pretty well, actually. Quite impressive. Did you guys get any on a home or where you were listening? I did write in. Dirty Grandpa as a trick one, but I'm not gonna throw it out. But this is the bad review for Dirty Grandpa.
There would have been
a movie so annoying, so ugly, so lead-footed, so misguided, and so blisteringly unfunny, it has to be seen to be believed. Please don't see it, though. It's not worth the sacrifice. This movie had potential to be a good gross-out comedy, but it's just mostly gross. that was
Dirty Grandpa. I feel like I enjoyed Dirty Grandpa. I was like, Zac Efron.
Oh, I didn't think it was that bad. I didn't think it wasn't great, but it wasn't that bad.
Maybe we've just got the ability to go lowbrow when we need to.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning into our 0 day wrap-up podcast episode. Thank you. Next, I'm gonna throw it to Justin, who's gonna tell us what we are gonna cover next.
Yes. Okay. So next week, obviously, we've wrapped up 0 Day now. We're gonna move on.
Ugh.
We we are gonna watch a movie called The Creator. So if you've checked it out, that's what we'll be discussing. If you haven't, I encourage you to check it out. I tell you, I
On
watched
Netflix, correct, Justin? On Netflix?
one.
what
Maybe
Disney?
Disney Plus is
Disney
where
Plus,
I
that's right.
watched the trailer, and I'm
Oh yeah,
telling
Disney
you,
Plus. Yeah.
the trailer on Netflix, the one I sent, or sorry, Disney Plus is. I hope it doesn't turn out to be better than the movie because it is freaking amazing. So check it out. Check out the trailer. We'll post a trailer for it. But sort of a quick little overview as a future war between the, you know what? Because we just want to stay on this diabolical train that we're on of, apocalyptic events, cyber terrorist attacks.
Yeah.
I thought, let's keep it growing. As a future war between the human race and artificial intelligence rages on, ex-Special Forces agent Joshua is recruited to hunt down and kill the Creator, the elusive architect of advanced AI. The Creator has developed a mysterious weapon that has the power to end the war and all of mankind. As Joshua and his team of elite operatives venture into enemy-occupied territory, they soon discover the world-ending weapon is actually an AI in the form of a young child.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so this movie, quick little disclaimer, it didn't do great at the box office, but a lot of that was to be suspected because it was a busy October. And so there's a lot of movies that came out and a lot of big movies that came out. And then after they're saying the actors couldn't really promote it due to the strikes that were going on. But there's some really good reviews about it. And a lot of people are saying it's a must-see sci-fi, and it kind of is one of those ones that got lost. And there was one that I found that I thought sort of same thing happened. Actually, it was Tom Cruise. I believe they call it Live, Die, Repeat. It used to be called Edge of Tomorrow. I watched it. I loved it. I was like, how did I not hear about this movie? So this one's giving me the same kind of vibes where it's one of those kind of ones that just flew under the radar. So I'm really excited to watch it. If you've seen it, I hope it was as good as I think it's going to be because I'm excited. And if you haven't seen it, go watch it, come back, and let's talk about it.
Once again, thank you guys for joining us and listening in. And of course, you can always reach us on socials or email us at chummythumbs@gmail.com. And that's all from us. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, keep on
Dumbing.